What's up, guys? Specstar here today with my Week 9 battle of Mega Beedrill. This week I'm going up against Nada and his team consisting of Salazzle, Haxorus, Mega Medicham, Frawthorn, as it's pronounced correctly, in the only way it's correctly pronounced, Mandibuzz, and Gramble. And I will switch over here to my team. Get the angle right. And starting off here, I've got my Mega Medicham, and I'm bringing the Zap Cannon back because on paper the only real switch into this thing he could have potentially proffered is Mandibuzz. And if he did go into Mandibuzz and it was max specially defensive, Dazzling Gleam into Zap Cannon would have a chance to just take that thing out right away. So that's what I'm going for there. Of course, the Focus Blast to hit the Frawthorn. Next up, I've got my Conkeldurr running Leftovers with Defog. Didn't need to run Flame Orb this week, I thought, because there were just so many opportunities to potentially expose this thing to status naturally, with him having T-Spiker I saw in quite a few mocks, and potentially Thunder Wave from Frawthorn. So I just went with Leftovers here. And I've got the Ice Punch to cover the Landorus Therian, which didn't come, and the knockoff, which covered, among other things, Runerigus. Next up here, I've got my Choice Specs Cure, bringing it right back. Max speed because it tied something that I think was either modest, but mostly I just wanted to outspeed Landorus, and it was only a little bit more to go to max. Freeze Dry, which covered, I believe, the Jellicent. I think this was, no, Vaporeon. Facing Vaporeon this week. Faced Jellicent last week. Focus Blast, of course, hits the Frawthorn, and then the rest is some pretty basic bitch stuff I don't have to explain. Next up here, I've got my Tangrowth, and I'm running the Protect Synthesis Rocky Helmet here, because I face a Mega Medicham, but I don't have any goddamn Mega Medicham switch-ins. Nor do I have a single ghost that might make him not want to run High Jump Kick. So I gotta make a Medicham switching out of goddamn nowhere, because this thing, if it's just Drain Punch for some reason, I'm able to synthesis up on it. If he is High Jump Kick, he has to click it twice to kill me, so I'm hoping on the second one I can catch him with Protect and just make him take all that damage. That'd be the plan there. And then Focus Blast, which largely hits Frawthorn. Next up here, I've got my Eel, and it covers a few things, such as Landorus defensively, and actually I just kind of went max special attack because he just defensively doesn't respond to it all that great. And I just noticed here that I have the thing running Quiet Nature instead of Modest Nature. That's because I originally had U-turn, and then I took off the U-turn and decided to keep it negative speed for no reason. And lastly here, we've got the Durant. It's Adamant with max speed for the same reason Kyurem is Timid max speed, because they both reach 317 there. And then I'm running Adamant Banded with the First Impression. I got Ironhead X Scissor, and then Superpower, which, again, for the Frawthorn, I want to be able to hit that thing with goddamn everything, because that mon is a monster in this generation. So, back to the game here. So, for starters, I wanted to lead off with Durant, and the reason is that covered pretty damn much everything except for Salazzle I like the Durant lead against. He decides to lead off with Haxorus, and I considered getting a little bit crazy right away and clicking Ironhead, predicting Gramble. I thought about it, but I thought I'd just click First Impression, which did hit the Frawthorn if he wanted to go into that. He does go into Salazzle, and Salazzle is going to take 44%. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that is poison and fire, so it's twice resisting First Impression and still taking 44%, because Durant is a monster when it lands. So I'm going to switch out here into my Electros as he goes to Flamethrower. That's looking like either a Timid Mineral or, it's looking either like a Timid Max or like a Modest Mineral, I believe. If I remember the calcs correctly, that is. And my eel is just going to go for a Volt Switch as he brings in the Haxorus. And I'm going to bring in my Durant here again, trying to put pressure on him. This time I'm thinking that he wouldn't just want to go into Salazzle again. I'm thinking since First Impression seems a little too obvious here, he might just want to go into... since First Impression. I'm losing my mind right now, I guess. This game, you guys are going to see why. It has melted my brain. I probably have not even been fit to record the same day as playing this. It has melted my brain. Since First Impression seems so obvious, I thought I would go for the Iron Head in case he wanted to go to Gramble there. And I will do that and get him down low. Now he knows I'm locked into Iron Head, so I'm actually going to predict the Ferrothorn here and go into my Electros. He does go into Ferrothorn, and at this point I'm just going to click my Flamethrower. He does make the smarter play in Haxorus though. And here he goes for Toxic. I actually go for Volt Switch instead of hard switching out because I couldn't fuck around too much if the thing wanted to go for Dragon Dance. I kind of had to know up front if it was Dragon Dancing, and even if that meant Eel taking a big hit there, I kind of had to know, because if he did Dragon Dance, I was going to have to get Durant in. So I go Durant here, and as he goes into his Gramble, I'm actually going to click First Impression, and that'll be Gramble's first dodge of the game. So I'm going to switch out into my Electros here as he goes into his Medicham. And as usual, I'm just going to be going into Tangrowth. He Mega Evolves, and unfortunately he's going to miss a high jump kick. I shouldn't even be laughing, because at this point in the game I was not laughing. I'm like, oh shit, that sucks. But you're going to find out that this is just a little ingredient in the stew that made up the pot that was this game. So he goes into Mandibuzz. I'm actually just clicking Giga Drain, being a safe bitch here. So I go to my Kyurem here, thinking that he might want a Toxic instead of U-turns and picks up some momentum. He goes into Ferrothorn. I pull the switch in my Conkeldurr, which, as he sets up rocks, is able to defog them just as quickly away. He brings in the Gramble here, and I'm going to switch into my Electros. He actually pulls the switch into Medicham, and that nets him a good deal of pressure here. I'm going to go into my Tangrowth. He goes for Drain Punch. He takes Rocky Helmet damage, still heals up a little bit. I'm going to click Giga Drain. I'm out of range of High Jump Kick at this point, and I'm just playing safe. I go into my Durant here on the Mandibuzz, which I thought took the U-turn. If he was going to U-turn, I thought I was in a little bit better position with Durant taking it rather than Kyurem, as it didn't let in the Medicham. So he brings in Salazzle, and I'm actually just going to go into my Conkeldurr this time, which takes way too much damage. And I'm actually just going to go for my knockoff here, which is pretty much okay with no matter what he does. Gramble would probably be the best option. Instead he goes to a Flamethrower. Conkeldurr barely survives and takes down that monster threat. He brings in Medicham. As per the usual, I just continue going into my Tangrowth. He goes into Ferrothorn as I Giga Drain, still just playing it safe there. And I'm going to switch here into my Conkeldurr with its last little bit of health in case he wanted to set up hazards. He actually pulls double into Medicham again, and I continue going into Tangrowth as I will every time. But at this point he's fully healed. He goes for a High Jump Kick. Tangrowth barely survives it. I do believe that was on the very high end of where the roll could have went. But I'm still fortunate to survive it and get to throw off a Giga Drain. At this point, I'd rather sack off my Conkeldurr than my Regenerator Tang, of course, so I'll do that. And then I gotta bring in my Alakazam here to kind of try to put on some pressure. Now, it's a little bit risky, but at this point, I notice that Zam is in range of, or Medicham should be, at least, if it's not having a lot of HP, and it does seem to be Jolly. If it is not health invested, then it should be in range to die to Focus Blast for sure. And that would cover Ferrothorn coming in. It would also cover Mandibuzz coming in. So I'm going to go for my Focus Blast, but as you see, the Focus Blast is going to miss, as has been a theme in this game. We've already got a High Jump Kick, a First Impression, and a Focus Blast missed. I'm going to go hard into my Durant, then switch into my Kyurem. He brings in Ferrothorn here, and I'm going to click Focus Blast, thinking he might want to get up rocks. He does get up rocks. Now at this point, I probably should switch out, but I think at this point, some point early in this game, we kind of both got to a point where we were so irritated by the way the game had went that we stopped calcing and stopped really thinking about our turns, and we started kind of clicking buttons. I was irritated that I clicked the Focus Blast, so I just clicked it again. Just wanted to hurt that thing, and I will do that. But he will be able to Gyro Ball and take down my Kyurem there, which kind of sucks. I'll bring in my Tangrowth here and just click Focus Blast. That might be the last inaccurate move that lands this game, I think. He brings in Medicham, and I'm actually going to click my Protect because Drain Punch should be a roll at this point. He goes for Drain Punch, and I'm just going to go for a Giga Drain again because I didn't really have anything else that was less valuable than Tangrowth here, and I knew that Drain Punch was a roll at this point. Barely again does Tangrowth survive. It's second time surviving a Medicham attack within 2%. And then I'm going to crit with Giga Drain, and that did matter. They did not kill otherwise. It might have died with the next attack in a Rocky Helmet, but it did not die to that attack, which means I did not get a sack Tang here and then get switch initiative. He goes for Brave Bird. That will take down the Tangrowth. This thing gets weakened. I'm going to go into Durant, trying to force a kill here with my Iron Head. Anything should die. He goes into Gramble. That dodges the Iron Head. Gramble's second dodge. I go for another one, and that becomes Gramble's third dodge on Durant. So I guess Gramble had Durant's number this game. And then I'll bring in my Alakazam here. I'm going to go for my Psychic at this point. He goes for Mana Buzz. I go for Dazzling Gleam on this thing because I know I survive a foul play. He goes for Roost, and I'm actually just going to click my Zap Cannon here, trying to get the thing in range of Gleam. I don't have much of a choice here except to click Zap Cannon again. Fortunately, the second one does land, and he gets paralyzed. The paralysis, I don't think it mattered. Everything else in the game on both sides up to that point did matter. I don't think paralysis did because it didn't kill Alakazam, and then either way it's going to come down to, does this Haxorus have first impression, which is the new move it learns this generation, and something I did see in one of my mocks. So at this point I'm crapping my pants, and I'm just going to switch into Eel here, as he just goes for his Dragon Claw. The reason I went into Eel is because if he did have first impression, then it would have helped me preserve one differential to sack off the Eel and then force a kill with Sam before he's able to bring it back in and kill me. It would have made it a 1-0 instead of a 2-0. That's why I did go into the Eel here. But he actually goes for the Dragon Claw there, which is a breath of fresh air, a sigh of relief for me. I'm able to bring Alakazam in, click Dazzling Gleam to kill the Haxorus, and then click Psychic to kill the Gramble. And I am going to win a very strange and terrible game. But at this point I'll take it because I do believe that game bars me from having a chance to get relegated, moving me to 5-4 is my record, yet somehow even being 5-4 my differential is -5, mostly because of that L5 game. And yeah, at that point I'll be 5-4, subtract 5, barred from relegation, but still I don't think I'm for sure in playoffs if I win next week. I think it comes down to how some other people do, just because my differential is so damn shitty. So I do have a chance to make playoffs. I may not have a chance even if I win, but I do have a chance if I win, so it'll, I guess, come down to how everything else unfolds to see if my next game is of consequence. So, you know, normally the tradition is say GG. This was a pretty crappy game, and I think we both knew it, but you know what? We'll take it, I guess. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it more than we did. Have yourselves a good night.